Oh, there we go. Welcome back to another House Bowling Reviews Q&A.
There you go, live.
Headed by the Packy Hanrahan. Where is he? I don't know. Where
We
will
don't
he be?
know.
I don't know. Will he be joining us? I don't know.
Virtual mob.
He's around
moderator. A virtual moderator.
He's creeping. Will he be joining us? I don't know.
Virtual mob.
These are.
Why do we have a replay?
I'm hearing some playback.
Yeah, that was me. Sorry.
Oh, jeez. Unbelievable.
Hello?
I hit the-
Hello?
YouTube guy with the text
Do this.
difficulties.
Yeah, I don't know anything, man.
Oh, here we go. I was looking at the private chat. I was like, where are all the questions?
I know.
No one's coming in.
Huh.
I'm trying to look at the new comments, but it won't even. Does anyone click in new comments and it won't do anything?
And
I don't even have a new comments button.
they're flowing in for me.
Seen a lot of Twitch chat here.
Flowing in.
A lot of the Twitch chat there. Who are the people? Who are the people from Twitch?
You want me to name off everybody?
I do. Yeah.
Literally everyone. Literally everyone that I've seen is from.
Like 95% at least.
We're just hanging out with Darren's.
DJ's little girl is cute.
You guys don't want to know what his little boy's doing.
Yeah, he's off camera. Off camera being a little boy.
Who's Kyle 2? Number 2.
Kyle number 2. What's up, Kyle number 2?
Twitch gang.
Gang.
Right, that's right.
All right, boys, don't worry, we're back.
Yeah.
We are back.
Oh, hey, it's Packy.
Peace,
I'm
BJ.
here to save the day for you guys. Don't worry. You worry. You guys asked for questions. I got them all.
Do you have them all? Seriously?
Do I have them all? Here's what happened. Honest story. I'll just tell you guys, and for all 33 people watching this, I posted that story to Instagram. I screenshotted the questions once, and then I let the story run out. So now I don't know any of the questions.
Sick.
So that's what happened.
How many questions do you have?
How many questions do I have? I'll give you my screenshots, about 6.
That's all right.
We'll get started.
All right.
We also
All right.
only got about 50.
We could turn 6 into about 3 hours.
Yeah.
I have a question for you, Storm guys.
I am ready.
I've never even heard of either of these two balls.
Yeah, they got announced yesterday.
I'm assuming these. Oh, they got announced yesterday?
Yeah.
I know
Wait,
nothing.
really? I didn't even know.
Yeah.
Like to the public or to you guys?
They showed up on the website today.
Yeah, they're on the website.
Oh, they
Hold on, I gotta see this. What
They're on
the
the
hell?
website.
All right, so that was just from a Brunswick guy. I thought this guy was talking about some international balls.
We got more balls coming already?
Yeah,
Yeah, they're
literally,
Axiom, Pearl Axiom, and a New
I
Year's thing.
placed an order last night. Got my confirmation email. 4 minutes later, I got an email about new bowling balls. Like,
Oh my
all right.
god.
I still haven't even drilled the latest releases.
So that is proof to you guys out there in chat. When they see a new ball announced, they assumed we've already had it for however long. We literally found out not even 12 hours before you guys.
Yeah, and on the PBA side, we find out on social media as well with the fans. So
We didn't even get any.
being a professional bowler, we're last on the totem pole.
Yeah.
So is this fast pitch supposed to be a little cleaner?
Yeah. So I did some prep work for this video thing that we're doing tonight. So I thought someone might ask this, and I read the description on the website, and it is supposedly halfway between a pitch purple and a pitch black as far as cover goes.
I really hope it's closer to a pitch black.
Was the pitch purple a stronger cover?
Yeah.
Depends
Yeah,
which
it's like-
purple.
Yeah, it was like more resin based.
My man said, come on, guys, check your emails. As professional bowlers now, with how many balls we drilled, the last thing we want is more.
Especially we're not bowling anything.
Yeah. Like, it's so hard because I feel like our bowling balls are really good. So every time we get new ones, it's so hard to figure out where they fit because, if we're going to a tournament where we can only take 6 balls, what are we supposed to take out?
Yeah, that's what I've been doing. I've just been throwing the old faithfuls. I've been going to this every turn with the same 6 balls. None of the new ones. Who we got,
I-
BJ? Got the
What's
kiddos.
Yep. Got Braley, Lincoln. They're just hanging out. They're watching a movie. Hopefully not being too crazy. Brace, he playing peekaboo with you.
Ha!
What's he doing? Oh,
not
get
not
in there.
excited.
Mystified.
No, you're super tiny on my screen. I'm getting silly now.
Oh, there he is.
Oh my
Oh,
god.
the one and
legend.
only.
Oh, here we go.
The legend.
Are you
Now
working
things are
right
getting
now?
spicy.
Yeah, I'm working.
Oh, good enough.
Better keep that mask on.
All right.
All right, so we got an Axiom Pearl coming through. Let me see. I'm gonna check this.
Yeah.
Yeah, apparently. Yeah, that's what I was like. I saw the announcement for him, and I was like, damn. I was like, I feel like the arsenal has 0 gaps right now.
Yep.
I was like, now we're just having like an overflow of options.
Oh, is this a new cover? N2X?
No,
No.
it's on the original. It's just pearlized.
I see. So
I don't even. What is an Axiom Pearl supposed like? What supposed to be like an idle pearl? Are they eventually going to get rid of the idle?
I feel
and
like
idle-
it should be stronger than an idle
Yeah, it
pearl.
should be stronger.
You would
Yeah.
think.
That's a new shape, I think.
I guess it would be between maybe like a step down from an IQ Nano Pearl.
I feel like it would roll the same as a Halo Pearl.
But
I don't even know if it would be a step down from the IQ. Like, it's a considerably stronger
That
core.
would, yeah.
Yeah, but that
Way
Nano
more depth.
cover is really strong.
I feel like they'll be very like completely different shapes.
Is it bad that I threw the Axiom the whole World Series before I knew it was symmetrical?
Doesn't
Guys.
surprise. Actually, I remember this conversation. Actually,
I can't believe you guys know nothing about these bowling balls.
What's that?
I said, I can't believe you guys know nothing about these bowling balls. The second a bowling ball comes out, I get way too excited to throw it.
I didn't even get the email.
Yeah,
It probably went to my spam.
Yeah, you got to go to your spam. It was in my spam.
before.
Unbelievable.
It's your
Like I
spam.
check my email like 10 times a day.
It seems
yeah,
like
see-
the guys in the chat know more about these balls than you guys.
Oh yeah.
that's
Nick,
probably
why are you wearing a shirt?
Why am I? Well, I'm working. See? Wait,
I'm
We're
turning
all
you in.
peppermint scented.
required by law.
my coworker is barely legal, so I don't want to get out there shirtless.
Is it a boy or a girl?
It's a girl.
Nick, so you get free massages when you're there
Yeah, once a month.
once a month. You can't go over.
If I can, I just pay for it.
That's, you get a discount.
right.
Do you get a discount or no?
Yes.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah. So this is where my best friend growing up, his dad owns. So, and then,
Do you have a favorite masseuse? Do you get the same one?
well, the one I always go to, they just end up leaving within like 5 months. So then I have to find a new one. And then
A weird trend.
it's not me. I swear it's not me.
It's you.
I mean, it's all signs are leading towards you. I'm just saying.
But no,
Yeah, like
no favorites.
says, quit the job. You're more suited for an Abercrombie storefront. I think so too. I think you'd be.
Yeah, I can
the
see that.
Abercrombie look.
Yeah.
You're looking nice and chiseled.
Neighbors, where it's Seth Rogen and Zach Efron out in front, just shirtless, posing.
For sure.
Walking.
Absolutely.
Guys, I just think this is the most truthful comment of all of them. Unbelievable with you guys.
He knows most about ball motion in the house. What a waste.
Oh,
No, he
goodness.
What a waste is right.
There's no such thing as a lefty knowing
He
what
only throws one ball. Come on.
I know exactly what ball motion looks like.
The instigator.
It was-
Big dot,
1 inch
second
pin
feather.
instigator, baby.
I didn't even say purple hammer. He just throws the instigator.
The instigator is a purple hammer. So I want to share a story with you guys real quick about how much I know about ball motion, because it's the most out of you guys. So I was bowling this like small tournament. It's not that small, but I was bowling this tournament, last weekend or 2 weekends ago, and I'm in the middle of my block. It's going horrible. You know, I'm like in the middle of my block. It's only a 5-game block. It's they just take like cuts per squad. There's 3 squads. I'm 1 game in. It's a 6-1 pattern, and it's playing like the U.S. Open for no reason at all. I brought my house shot equipment, and now I know I'm screwed. So I actually drilled a ball in the middle of my block. I drilled a bowling ball.
Sounds like a PBA guy there.
Yeah, it was. I felt a PBA move. I drilled a counterattack, so I drilled a purple ball, and naturally they struck enough to get me in the cut.
Weird.
Speaking of purple
balls always work.
I bowled a tournament over the weekend, right? Jacob Buttriff didn't make the cut.
What?
He crushed the sweeper the night before.
No, Andrew crushed the sweeper.
I thought Andrew and Jacob both crushed it. No,
Andrew beat Jacob by 100.
Oh my god! But Andrew shot like $1 billion over for the like 6 games that it was or whatever.
Why didn't he make the cut?
I don't know. I wasn't watching.
Was he throwing a reactor ball?
I don't. Probably not. But he missed by 1 pin.
I mean, he missed the cut, so he had to be.
He missed by 1 pin, and let's just say he would have ran everyone over because it's 12 games on Sunday, and the right side got crappy.
I'm glad he didn't show up to that regional that I bowled, because he definitely would have won it.
Bowling stuff. I don't know why. You can take him back, please.
I don't want him back. Are you kidding me? I win every single regional when he's not here.
You should just kick him out. You should pay him to not go.
He's got to go back.
So
Pay
funny,
you $1,000 to leave. Just never bowl a West Coast regional ever again.
I'm sitting there grinding my face off the first 6 games. I'm like, this is dumb. They're cliffed at 10. That's a hard place to be cliffed. So I go up to Jacob. I'm like, hey man, how about this? How about this idea? I will withdraw. You're the alternate because you missed by 1 spot. You can make a run in like these last 8 games to be the leader, and then we'll just split the prize fund. His eyes lit up, and he's like, "No way, you're being serious right now?" And I'm like, Jacob, I'm like half joking, but I'm half being serious. But ultimately, I missed the step ladder by 2 pins, but that's a different story.
You
Should
did?
have let him bowl.
Should have let him bowl.
Let him bowl.
Rough.
Brad,
What?
when are you bringing me my shirt you stole?
Oh, I still got it, don't I?
Yeah.
Magnifique? Is that the one?
No,
Oh, okay. I was about to say.
He'll never let anyone borrow that.
in my house.
You know what's funny is I wore Kyle's jacket to the bowling alley
Yep.
on that day as well, and I left it.
And I remember you like going to change, and you just put it in your bag. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I'll drive it up to you.
Okay.
Okay. I'll
Bowling
drive it
regional.
over to Minnesota.
Yeah.
What advice would you guys give to a person who is bowling their very first tournament?
Have fun.
Become left-handed.
When you say have fun, what parts are you supposed to have fun with?
He's out.
So
You cannot comment be left-handed. Having fun is the most important thing. You should just go, have no expectations, and just enjoy yourself. And
yes.
if you're a lefty, you will enjoy yourself.
I was gonna say be two-handed. That's funny.
I was like the old junior gold thing they used to say before every squad back in the day. They used to say, keep your eye on the prize, but don't lose track of the experience.
All right.
That response was
Great
way too
tagline.
serious.
It's a
I
great
thought so.
tagline.
I was here for that.
That's super.
Oh, yeah.
I was here to be serious. All right, I'm done.
Make your spare. But then, if that doesn't work, go to two-handed lefty. You'll cheat and win. I got to go clean now.
He's out again. His
Goodbye.
answers will not be allowed. No, but I mean, for like, this guy clearly wants a serious answer. I think he also asked it on the, I think he also asked it on Instagram. He was one of the questions. But for real, I think just like having fun would be, just go. You can't get mad at yourself. There's no point in getting nervous. Tournaments are a thing. that it should be fun, or else why are you doing it?
Yeah, to an extent, but
Girl,
at the
all right.
same time, if you're going to start getting competitive, or if you're going to start doing more tournaments, I would say use it more as a learning experience. Ask a lot of questions to the players that are bowling well, and just in that part, that's where I think the fun comes in. At least for me, like even if you're not bowling well, you can still learn every single time.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So I mean, there's no way to absolutely be perfect in this game, which is crazy. But ask a lot of questions. People are bowling good. Ask what they're doing, how they're feeling. Different types of feels from every different player. So you never know what's going to work for you.
For sure, yeah. I'm just going to pull this one up because we talked about storm balls forever, and people should be interested. From a guy who's not
just sign
I'm
up.
out.
I got black screens going up.
We're going so low. So, all right, but for real, I actually today that's actually the only reason I pulled this up is because today was the very first day I actually got to throw the ball. I got it in the mail and I brought it down to Buddy's Pro Shop like maybe 3 hours ago and got it drilled. And I think it's very similar to the SE. It's like honestly, it's just like the next release in that same slot. For the most part, they just changed the color, and I think it reacts pretty similar. And I think the actual red in the ball, I don't know if you Storm guys have noticed this, but when they change colors of similar cover stocks, it actually does have a little bit of an effect on ball motion. So I think it just reads a little earlier for me. But I'll be posting a ball video out next week or so. So did you guys notice that? Like when you see a ball change color, or do you guys have like a specific color of ball that you guys always like? I always get excited when they come out with a solid color black bowling ball. I feel like it's real good. And it doesn't even matter the brand. It could be Brunswick.
No black ball has ever rolled that.
They always roll good.
Well,
Back.
I think our best example is our Pearl IQs. Like we've had a gold one, a green one, and a brown one.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And they're all different.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
Absolutely.
it does make a
Color
difference.
pigment's huge.
Nothing else.
Yeah, I feel like that's why they probably. I mean, they'll test several different colors. I mean, like sometimes they'll go in with a plan, like we want this color bowling ball, but sometimes like they'll run that and test it, and it just rolls terrible. So then they'll change colors, and it will roll better with a certain color on it. So it's kind of crazy. You could go back and think of some bowling balls that are like iconic, and they very well could have been a different color, or should have been a different color at first, but it didn't turn out that way.
Just make
Eagles were supposed to be green originally.
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, I'm sure there's probably so many bowling balls that we have no idea that were supposed to be different
I
colors.
was told the green one was supposed to be better, or was better. Rolled better.
It's hard to believe the pink one's awful good.
Yeah.
Green
There's
Idol.
a 16-pound one.
It's a great question. Reviews, comes directly to our channel, but
It's back.
obviously me.
I disagree.
No, I would
We've got who does all the videos?
also disagree. I think it's different. Different. You could send all of us a video, and we would all say different things. But I think it. Like honestly, for me, I stick to where I know best. I try and make sure that I don't review too many of the one-handers because some of like the more beginner people I can help out, but once it gets to a high-level bowler, I really don't know what to say to a lot of one-handers. But I think it's different, and we don't really give an option. It kind of just is, whoever you pick up, and I try and gear the high-level bowlers to the guys that know the most. Like I think Damon does a great job. Brad, basically everybody here is the ones that reviews videos. So
What's funny is I look at a video of a two-hander and I'm like, don't really know what to say.
yeah,
It's hard for me.
and yeah, we just got a kid. We just reviewed a kid from the Philippines who throws it like amazing. And I've been looking at the video for like 2 days, and I'm like, I can't tell him anything. I don't know. Like, I would tell him keep doing you. Like, you throw it great.
Yeah, that's what you say. You're throwing it fantastic. There's
Repeat.
literally nothing we can do to help you. You should go on tour right now.
I texted Prather and I was like, Prather, we're gonna need you to talk about this one for like 15 minutes. How do we feel about this?
Never thrown it.
Never thrown.
Here we go. What advice would you give yourself at the very beginning of your bowling careers? What advice would you give each other at the start of their bowling careers?
Interesting.
I would advise myself not to bowl in Timberlands.
Wait, hang on. Is it like our future self or our present self going to the past and telling our younger self? Or would we not know? Would our younger self not know this person that supposedly us telling us?
I feel like Darren's trying to write a plot to a movie here.
Darren's getting way too far.
I want to give an educated response.
It's a plot to a movie right now.
Because right now, like if I was told whatever I'm thinking as an adult or my dad, I would just be like, F off. My younger self. That was a little dickhead.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I guess it would just be more or less like if you could go back in time and do something different. Maybe that along those lines. Like if you could tell yourself this is what you want to do from the beginning rather than going a different direction, learning the hard way, and then ending back up.
I think it was like you need help, right? Like it's like it's like a 5-6 year process if you don't really have any help. If you have like a team like Storm and their ball reps, like they really go deep into like helping and knowledge.
Especially now. Like it's getting real deep.
Especially now.
We've got so much information. It's insane. And it's really up to the players to make something out of it.
Yeah. But it's all about how can I turn this 6-year process into a 3-year process? And the answer is help. Like just reach out, work with coaches, work with ball reps, get to know companies, build relationships. Like a lot of stuff doesn't actually have to do with bowling. It's just like your career in a sense.
Right.
Yeah.
I think mine kind of goes back like to what I said with that other person that asked, they're bowling their first tournament. I would say the same exact thing, ask as many questions as you can. Cause that's what I tell everybody now, because I never did it. I spent quite a few years just trying to figure shit out on my own and never, you kind of beat your head against the wall for a little while first before you really figure it out.
You just threw it too good.
Yeah, I don't know that if I would have been asking questions and had information coming in that I would have ever quit the first time I quit. Like I probably wouldn't have packed it in back after. I mean, I went out and basically bowled for a year right out of college, and I was like, "This is crazy. No, thank you," and that was the end of it. But I didn't have anything. I didn't have help. I was trying to figure out everything on my own, and it really isn't that. It's not something you can figure out on your own.
Yeah,
No.
not trying to do it for a living.
Very
You don't have all the answers.
different atmosphere.
No way you can figure it out on your own.
Right. You gotta learn to take your medicine. Get the experience under your belt to really figure out what it's like, what the feels are.
Right.
You really got to tame the ego down and just stay open-minded.
For sure.
And I think for me, that was a big part of like how I got to where I was. I started bowling when I was in high school, and I bowled my first tournament when I was 16 or 17. And I think that was a big part. Because I started so late, I kind of realized, I'm not as good as everybody else. The only way to get better is to ask, the coaches or the players on my high school team that, they weren't great. They were 180 average bowlers, but I was a 120 average. So why not ask them? Why not ask them how, hey, how do you bowl two-handed? How do you do that? Like, can you teach me? So, it was stuff like that. But I think really it is just how many questions can you ask and actually be open to the response?
Right.
Are you
Not
going to
everything that everyone is going to tell you is going to work for you. You got to figure out what's suitable to yourself.
Yeah, exactly.
Very much so trial and error.
But you also can't shut down what you're hearing just because it doesn't make sense to you.
Correct. Because there's always something that you can pull out of a conversation.
And I think a lot of it too is realizing that it doesn't happen at the same rate for everyone. Like
Right.
people have success in different amounts of time. Like some people pick up on things really quick. Some people pick up on things very gradually over time. And it also depends on what you're trying to do as well, whether it be something physical or something mental. Things just happen. Like I know things physically I can change a little bit quicker than most, but things mentally have been much harder for me, and those have been slower over time. So it's just kind of one of those things, trying to be patient with whatever you're working on.
Mhm. I would agree with that.
Try throwing a backup ball. I have.
Do you still do it or no?
I mean, I don't do it for score.
Just do it for fun. Yeah, I tried again today, and I try on a monthly basis, and I feel like my wrist is going to fall off every time I do it. So that was about as short lived as it was for me. This is a pretty interesting one. I like it when guys ask about like TV shows and things that they notice. Yeah.
Some use hybrid. Yeah, I think that's more so just because like we're bowling on fresh, the lanes break down considerably different on TV than they do during the week. They usually break down much quicker because of the TV lights. So I think usually those balls just tend to be skipped, where it's like kind of go from one end of the arsenal to the other much faster than maybe you would throughout the week.
I think for us too, we don't have a lot of hybrid options, so that could play a part.
Definitely. Yeah, I think hybrid balls, not every ball that comes out is a great ball, obviously, or you would see guys bringing 400 different options to every tournament. But I think since there are not as many hybrid balls that get produced in general, so I think it's hard for those guys to really, if they're traveling a long distance, it's hard for some guys to bring a ball that they, might not be sure about. But for me, I'm pretty, especially on tour, it's either like one end of the spectrum or the other. I'm either going super weak or super strong. Whereas if I go to a tournament where we're bowling on a house shot or I know it's going to be easier, the hybrid balls are going to come and play. That's just me, though. That's just me.
I threw a hybrid ball on a show this year. I'm just throwing it out there.
There you go. I did not.
Which one? Physics?
We threw the same balls on back-to-back shows.
I know. I did the exact same the week in Oklahoma. I was like, well, Darren threw this too. I'm going to do the same.
Dude, I was so mad. Everybody was drilling physics after that first week, and I'm like,
no
Jim's
one
like,
knew.
we don't have any more. I'm like, weird.
No one knew.
How it always happens.
So I felt really big chested about that because that was my idea.
That was my idea.
At the beginning of the week, I was like, I feel like physics could work.
I'm going to start the trend.
Oh, the trend.
How can you tell when you're ready to go on tour?
This is a good question.
You're never ready.
You just got to go.
Yep.
You don't know unless you try. It's a whole different animal than bowling at home.
Wow, you guys are giving horrible answers.
Why is that horrible?
That's the truth.
Yeah.
realistic.
Is anybody actually ready when they start? Like, is anybody week one out ready to go? I'm not
you
sure
never know
anybody
until
is.
you try it.
There is, I guess there is like no way, but I would say I would suggest you start bowling regionals first.
Yes.
I wouldn't say that you just go out there immediately. Hey, I've never
In the
bowled
grand
a tournament.
scheme of things,
I average 240. I've never bowled a tournament. I'm going on.
it's like you don't know if you're ready for something until you try it.
I mean, even
That's the bottom line. Doesn't have to be tour. It could be bowling regionals or just tournaments in general. If you've never bowled a tournament, you just have to throw yourself out there.
even if you do go off and win a bunch of regionals, you're still not ready.
It's not
They're
even.
totally
it's not
different.
even close.
They're not even.
Not
You
like
can't be ready.
I'm on this
they're not even
disgusting
close.
run right now, winning regionals and stuff, and it's not even close to bowling on tour. It's
No.
so much easier.
It is.
I haven't cashed in a regional.
Well,
You probably don't bowl enough.
You're left-handed. Come bowl the Central.
in the East.
I bowl against Frankie, Chris Barnes, Stu. I bowl against those guys all the time. And I also don't bowl that many regionals. I just don't. I'd rather go to Kansas City. Bowl for the brackets, baby.
Like you got to understand that all the really good players in each region, you're bowling against all of them at tour stops. That's what makes it so hard.
Yeah.
You don't have to beat just 5 of them. You have to beat 80 of them.
Mhm.
Yeah, and not to
It's like the
mention
regional
regionals are all
regional.
yeah, and all the regionals now the lane machines are different from every house because all the houses run their own patterns. So yeah, you kind of get like a real general idea on how they play, but again, you can't
Not
even.
really at all.
It's also like going into Augusta and trying to play Tiger if you're new. Like all the pros of bowling these bowling centers, they know every hit on every pair. Like there's just no way for you to be ready. You just gotta go and do it for a couple years, and then you reevaluate.
Hopefully you survive long enough to make a good decision.
Yeah, hopefully you break even. Crap.
I mean, this is like my 3rd year, and I finally feel like I'm actually like seeing what I need to see and like making the correct adjustments to what I need to do. Like, I mean, it's things that you should probably happen a little bit quicker, but it's just so different from anything you'll bowl on. Like, you physically cannot recreate what you bowl on tour.
Nah.
Like, you can go try to practice and like recreate it. You can't. Like, there's literally nowhere you can go besides a tour event to practice what you see out there.
I don't think tour players get enough credit for what they actually do on the lanes. Dude, it's insane.
Did we talk about that question that was just up?
We didn't. I pulled it down because you guys were chatting. But this one, I thought this one was a pretty good one. I don't think it's that important.
I don't think it is either, to be honest.
I think it's very important to like. I think it's very important if you want to win all the time, but if you want to be like success, it depends what you mean as successful. If you mean going and making a living and paying the bills, I don't think it's that important. Obviously, it's important at some point if you want to go win every single major, but I think you can learn it. I don't think you need to just have it. I think it can come.
I mean,
how can you learn it though?
I don't think it's a learn thing. I mean, I don't think you learn it. I think you learn it.
Like it's a developed thing.
You can read a book. I think you can go out there, lose a couple times, get into those situations, and figure out what you need to do to gain that killer instinct. Some people have it. Some people
I don't think
automatically have it.
Mr. Fast Prather, he's went from rags to riches. What do you think?
Yeah.
I think it's
What do you mean?
Yeah, I think it's a learned trait because you have to.
I think it's the killer instinct.
No, the killer instinct. Because you can go through tour life. We see it all the time where guys are like, they're bowling on tour because it's the thing to do. Like it was always their plan, and it was always my plan. But it took kind of what Vi is seeing now, where like, after 2 or 3 years, I had to refocus myself and pretty much like determine whether I wanted to be successful at it or not. And that's where that killer instinct came from, which then led to success. So I think it is important, but I don't think it's something that you can just flip a switch and learn. It's something that you have to choose to basically become. So
yeah, I think I approached sports in general with like a killer instinct mentality, and it worked in soccer. But when it came to bowling, if you have that killer instinct and it doesn't go well, it could just lead to like a ridiculous amount of frustration.
Yeah, and I think the killer instinct kind of like idea I think it can be confused with just extreme focus and concentration and commitment, because that's essentially what all of the best athletes in the world have. Is they just have an intense focus that puts them in the zone, and
it's different.
It's different for every person.
Well, it's different from sports too, because in soccer, your heart rate's at 140, you're running around, you don't have time to think. Basketball, football, it's like, but in bowling, you have all the time in the world to think. So there's like a sense of, but in football, you can just rage and go off, whereas
the harder you hit somebody, the
You have
more
to learn
pumped
how to
everyone. Yeah.
So
yeah, you can use your heart rate, whereas like in bowling, you almost have to fight it.
Right. You have
Yeah.
to figure out. Yeah. The big thing for me was figuring out how to control my heart rate on TV, and in those, pressure situations where either I need a spare or strike or whatever to go ahead in the match or win the match, figuring out a way to slow my heart rate down long enough to where I could focus on the task at hand and then execute a shot.
So in a way, would it be plausible to say that killer instinct and like that internal focus you're talking about is almost one and the same for bowling?
Yeah, 100%.
Because it's different for other sports, but for us, that's kind of what it is. Or that's really the only way I could think how you would tap into it.
Right.
Is it also fair to say that you either have it or you don't, but it's learned that you got to figure out how to turn it on if you do have it? Because I know some people that I don't think have it and will ever have it.
the killer instinct.
Yeah.
Name them now, all of them in order.
I'm not talking about guys on tour.
Oh,
Just people I know. Yeah, just people I know.
Yeah,
Just
there's
people that don't
definitely plenty of bowlers out there that don't have a killer instinct.
Like I got a close friend that I've worked with for a few years now, and I'm like, he just doesn't have it, and he never will. I can't see him ever having it.
Speak his name now.
I'll do it. I don't care,
No, I can't have you getting it.
but I won't. I won't.
Like, is he just not? Are those people just not motivated?
I think it's just the way some people are.
Or it's not.
Like some
not
people
that
just aren't
important.
wired that way.
Yeah, I agree.
It's
Or-
not something you can teach yourself. It's something that has to kind of be wired in.
Yeah, I
naturally.
feel like it
Some
just
people
comes
just
from
teach
within, and if you just don't have it, you can't pull it out.
Right. Babe, could you turn that light back on, please? Sorry. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Guy's so big time. He's got a lighting director.
Guys, this is a great
He gave
question.
me the dirtiest look.
The only way to answer this would be to suggest that they click the link in description for a 50% off code. On one of our coaching videos, we have a link in description. This question, I will just say it's impossible to answer without seeing you. Like you could have too high of a rev rate already, and maybe it's just your opinion, but that would be impossible to answer. And I would say you should submit a video to the House Coaching Reviews, and one of us will review it. Or BJ.
Probably one of the two.
Probably the two.
Or Chris.
Wow. There we
Probably.
go.
Probably.
Yeah.
I think
Guy
we're
over
all different on
over there.
everyone's-
Yeah.
Are we all different or are we all in the same spot?
I don't know.
We're all in the same
Are
spot.
you, Chris?
This
Are you bottom left corner on yours?
I am bottom left corner.
I'm bottom right.
Yeah.
So we're all in the same.
No,
It
That's
matches
really weird.
I can't. I don't know my left from right. Still, I have to learn.
Okay. You gotta hold up the
This is a good question.
Very
And it's a different answer for everybody.
Yes.
Is
I
it-
want to go first. I think
I
it's
would
different
go
for every
first.
person.
I think it depends on where you come from
Yeah.
financially. You don't
Yeah.
you don't all start at ground zero.
exactly.
Yeah.
I will say you have to come in. You have to come in either with some help. A lot of people come in with help. I came in with help. Or you can come in on your own. And, I would say you have to have the best advice I can give is to come in with enough money to give it a real shot. You
Yeah.
have to come in and say, okay, I need to be able to go out there, miss every single cut this year and be okay.
Yeah, I always
Because that might happen. That might happen.
For the Fox tour. I always budget 15,000.
That's it?
Yeah, it's like 1,000 a week, like 1,200 a week or something.
$15,000.
$500
Yeah,
entry.
but you guys pick out some expensive houses, though. I mean,
Yeah, but we never pay like more than 500 a man.
yeah. Well, when
That's a lot of money.
So
I think
normally-
330 was the
I
most
guess-
we paid.
I guess I'm also accounting for those dinners that I'm buying you guys when Mitch is around.
So 500 for the entry, 3 something for the stay, and then another 500 for food. And
Hold up, but that's only after you win. So
I mean,
you've
I'm
already
Yeah,
got the
by
prize fund.
He ain't buying nothing.
Budgeting.
Yeah.
He's like, minus this 100,000.
Yeah.
What do I have left for the year?
So that doesn't count. That doesn't count.
Oh my God.
But yeah, the way that I always explain it to people when they ask about like how much money does it take to come out on tour and it does vary for every person. But I also tell them that if you're going to come out on tour, you need to be willing to invest as much money as it takes to bowl every single event, because that's the only way that you're going to get any better. And I think that's why it takes longer for guys like, Vi and Packy and myself, where it's taking Packy a little less time than Vi and myself to have success. But it took me 3 years. It's Vi, you're on what, year 3 or 4?
Yeah. 3.
And Packy, you're what, year 2?
Yeah, this is year 2.
Yeah. So, I mean, it takes a solid amount of time to where you can learn those transitions and learn how different bowlers affect the lanes and everything like that. So I always tell people that every dollar that you invest, you have to be prepared to lose it all and be able to focus on bowling and not the money. Because as soon as 95% of the people that bowl competitively, as soon as they start thinking about the money, they can't get it off their hand. They literally just squeeze every single shot, and it costs people a lot of money when they start just focusing on anything other than bowling.
And that's the biggest problem in our sport, at least at the professional level, is that the athletes can't focus on just performing because they don't know if they're going to be able to pay rent,
bowl the next
eat
week.
the next day, or whatever the case may be.
And now you have to do
sucks.
your own social media and all this other bull crap. Like it's the bowling part's a small part of it. Stupid.
Yep. But like I posted my score sheet from this past weekend at the 11th frame, and then bowled like absolute garbage for like 7 of the 12. And then I had somebody comment on there like, "Oh, post his score sheet when he bowls well, then doesn't say anything after he bowls poorly or whatever." I mean, I finished 4th, so it's not like I bowled that bad, but I wanted to make a little video. I'm going to send it to Packy for tomorrow's Instagram. I got you.
Love it.
You guys are going to love it. It's hilarious because it was me on Sunday. But everyone watching right now, tune in to Instagram tomorrow.
Yeah, check us out on Instagram. The house ball.
Bang.
The official house ball. I don't even know what it is. I should probably figure that out. Yikes.
I just sent it to you, Packy.
This is perfect. This is going to be great. I can't go far back enough in the chat. We had a question, and I can't pull it back up, but the question was, who is on your bowling Mount Rushmore? So I noticed that I think it was like Inside Bowling or somebody posted a 2-handed Mount Rushmore. Who is on your actual Mount Rushmore? So 4 bowlers, you got to pick greatest of all time.
I think Chris and I are exempt because the guy that's asking this was a part of our streams. So we've already answered this question.
Yeah. Tim, you want to go first?
Yeah, I can go first.
All right, cool.
So I'll go from like now backwards. I'm gonna say Belmo, Walter Ray, Earl, and Andy Verapapa.
Wow, that's not names you hear very often, honestly.
I mean, Verapapa, I feel like Verapapa could do anything he wanted to with the bowling ball, and he won the All-Star twice, which at the time was 100 games at 50 and 51 years old. Since there was no tour back then, so you can't really quantify what his stats would have been if there was a tour. Whereas then you got Walter, who's been great over the course of
40
years, really. Earl was only out for a short amount of time, but he racked up tons and tons of titles and majors and all that good stuff during his short stay. And then you've got Belmo, who's just basically running over every single record that there is now.
You basically picked one person from every single influential generation, basically.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's generational. Mount Rushmore's generational.
Yeah, fair.
Yes, it is. I will pick myself 4 times.
Yes. Yourself 4 times.
Yep.
Of course you would.
I would
No.
anything else.
If I had to pick, I'm going to pick only lefties. So I'm going to say for now.
So who are your 4 lefties now?
Who are my 4 lefties?
I guess Parker.
I think
Parker's going to be Earl. Be number 1.
Okay.
Just because I know him, and I also like on top of me, like just watching him and wanting to be like him.
Jason Couch.
I also think he's the nicest guy, so I would pick Parker, Earl Anthony, Jason Couch, and
No, there's one you can't leave out.
Cassidy Schaub.
Jesper. I'm putting Jesper on mine. He got 10 titles, and he's like 20 something.
Albie's offended with you right now.
Albie. That legend.
This guy's got the real answer right here. Me, 4 different releases.
One of them
He had 4 different releases. He'd have
One of them is definitely not backup.
The problem is I have 4 different releases, and it's different every frame. The problem.
Even on spare shots.
Yeah, sometimes they're backup, sometimes they're normal, sometimes they're knuckleballs. I don't
Just
know.
accounting for the lanes changing.
Yeah, every shot the lanes change, and I try to account for that.
It's my excuse.
That's a good one.
I would go Norm Duke. Dang, Kristen Anderson almost had it. I had P. Weber, Norm Duke, Walter Ray, and Dick Weber.
Ooh, the guy.
Like that.
Mine is very, very similar to that. It would be Dick Weber, P. Weber, because he pretty much rejuvenated bowling in the 2000s, brought it back, and then
Why is that so funny?
Elmo.
The video Chris sent me was hilarious.
You're welcome. But Dick Weber, Pete Weber, Belmo. Oof. I got to go Norm too because he's just so exciting to watch. I could watch Norm bowl. I mean, he's going to be bowling until he's 85, but I'll be there watching.
Norm?
Yeah, Norm's going to bowl forever.
He's
I love
done.
watching Norm
He's
bowl.
not-
I hate
he's-
bowling with him.
He's also going to tell you that he's going to retire for the next 35 years.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be like that Simonelli thing where Simonelli's like, oh, I'm retired. And then he goes and wins like a regional or whatever. And then he's on staff with Brunswick again. Like,
Norm's
He
not
should have
gonna
never
bowl.
left. Baby. Never left. He'd have 30 titles and wouldn't have retired by now.
Who?
What, Simonelli?
Simonelli would have 30 titles and been retired by for what?
I think Simonelli, this is a hot take. I think Simonelli wouldn't have retired if he stayed on Brunswick staff because I think he would have won more titles if he never left Brunswick.
well,
Who just dropped out? Timmy? All right.
Timmy.
I mean, you could be right.
I mean, there's no
He
way
would
to.
have had an awful year this year.
What?
He still would have had a bad year this year.
This year?
Yeah.
Finish second.
There was not a single lefty bowling any good in any major, period, this year. I mean, he made the show in Oklahoma, but the other events, I mean, the World Series, he bowled the World Series, right? But he used the new balls.
He used the big bowling ball. Well, some of them, I think. I don't know.
Some of them, yeah.
I did not see one of those bowling balls go down the lane at any point during the week.
I
I
saw,
saw him in the practice session.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I watched the
Yeah, I
content.
think that's the only time I wasn't close to any of them.
does anybody want to answer this?
I give mine to college teams.
I sign them and give away at twitch.tv/vitamin D.
I sell them.
Nice plug.
I have a large stack of them in my
know
basement that
who
when they
this guy
crack, they
is.
go to the dumpster.
I don't know who this clown thinks he is.
He's probably a scrub.
Darren, you should check your phone. But yeah, I mean, I think I give some of mine away to high school kids. I sign some of them and give them away at bowling tournaments. Nobody wants me to sign anything, so I give them to somebody else to sign, and then I give those away. So glad Darren looked at this. But yeah. Any other good ones? Yes. Simo throwing a backup ball does count as my Mount Rushmore. I forgot to put them on.
That would be 2 separate. He could be on there twice.
If you guys had to pick two-handers,
2 Packies, 2 Simos.
2 Packies, 2 Simos. If you guys had to pick two-handers, who would you say is your outside of Belmo right now, outside of Belmo and Simo, who's the best? Because obviously it's Belmo and Simo on all of the majors.
Are we just
Kyle.
counting right-handers?
Kyle.
Right-handers, or
You can count anybody. Right-handed.
I'd say Kyle,
Jesper.
Kyle.
Yeah, Kyle. For
In
sure.
that order, Kyle and then Jesper, or Jesper and then Kyle.
I go Kyle.
It's so hard to rank lefties because it's so dependent on
Pattern.
if they have it or not. Yeah, like obviously when it's available, he absolutely crushes it. So it's hard to rank lefties. Like if you're ranking a righty or lefty, it's almost impossible to do.
A righty is just there's going to be more. I think there's more opportunity for a righty to bowl well than lefty.
Really?
Of course,
That's weird.
But the left is always wall.
but the lefties aren't good.
I don't sense any sarcasm at all.
I want everybody who's listening right now to hear what he's saying and think about it. There's more opportunity if you're a right-hander.
Because righties are more skilled.
Because righties have the world all the time.
It's very hard to show. I mean, you can't shut out the
You
right.
physically
We're-
can't shut a righty out.
Yeah,
I don't
because
care
we're
what you're
so
saying.
good that we create area for ourselves to bowl.
No, you're so good that there's 40 of you bowling on the same lane every tournament, so it just develops magically. Here's my thought. Instead of oil patterns being put out, why don't we start tilting the lanes?
We would just bowl at
Yeah,
Kegel.
that
right?
And the
That's
lanes
it.
would never change.
All I'm saying is I've seen
All the
runners do
handers
some
wouldn't be any good anymore. Don't put any oil out. You just throw the ball down the lane.
Give me the dinosaur ramp.
Right?
Use it on TV.
Always keep. I'm giving him all the credit. I put him on my lefty Mount Rushmore. I don't know what he's chirping in here for, but
Maybe he was saying you're attractive.
oh, I'll take that. All right, we got one. How come there's no such thing as a switch bowler? Have you guys ever seen one? So, like in baseball, they hit righty, they hit lefty.
They're coming.
Good.
Didn't
Todd
Rob Law
is
do it
good.
for a while?
Have you seen Justin Bones vlogs?
I know.
Like these kids that are bowling Teen Masters, they're bowling one-handed, two-handed, and backup in the exact same tournament.
Yeah, Justin Bone does that. He bowls two-handed and one-handed.
That's the future.
I practiced with him today, and he said he is feeling his one-handed game. He said he learned how to make a good shot, so he's quitting two-handed.
But now
Yeah,
they're
we'll
gonna-
break y'all on
but
that
now
one.
they're gonna have to bring.
No, he wasn't
37
serious at
balls.
all. He wasn't serious at all. But
I figured it'd be opposite.
yeah, I mean,
That's possible, right? Like you have a one-handed game that's sharp enough that like allows you to play certain things, and then you have a two-handed game that's sharp enough, and then a backup game that's sharp enough. I mean, that's a
Yeah, but now you got to bring double the
12
amount of
balls
bowling
instead of
balls.
6.
yeah, because you got to.
because you got to have different arsenal.
No,
Oh
but-
my gosh, that changes the game.
But the thing
Yeah.
about that is, you could say, okay, I'm only, my two-handed game is for when I get left of fourth arrow, and then the second you get left of fourth arrow, you're probably eliminating half of your arsenal anyway.
It's possible.
You imagine going to junior gold and trying to figure out what balls to bring based on what style you're going to use when?
Yeah, that'd be insane.
Like, do I bring 2 balls with thumbs or 3? Or do I go 4 and 1?
but also
That's a good question.
but also like
This man's
the-
crazy.
the right hand left hand thing, it's only applicable in PBA. Like you can't do that in USBC events. So I think that's why it's not very
No.
common anyway. But there's some really good bowlers like Pat Dombrowski. I don't know if you guys know Pat Dombrowski.
Mhm.
Throws it just as good left-handed as he does right-handed.
So when I saw Justin doing it at Teen Masters, it was because it was not a USBC event.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
Team Masters has a-
They got different rules.
like this guy says, Team Masters will allow it this next year. So they have they have like just their own set of rules, kind of like any tournament that we go to. They might have their own set of rules.
And they don't go by USBC.
I believe they don't. But also, I never understood that from USBC. I never understood why they don't have, because it technically, if it's a scratch event, it shouldn't matter what hand you throw it with. If it's a handicap bowling event, I get it. But
Well,
if
I
it's a
think
scratch event, there should be
Then
no. There
it
should be
starts
no.
becoming a thing if you're a right-handed bowler, you bowl a league left-handed, and you go bowl Open Championships with a 148 average, and you shoot 2,000.
This man's on to something.
You can still do that, though.
I've witnessed that. I had a guy here in Kansas City. He went to two-handed, and he racked up like a 185 average, and then walked into a tournament and bowled one-handed, and he's a 220 one-hander. So that definitely exists.
I mean, you can do that right-handed, but you can't do it left-handed. Like, you can do that two-handed to one-handed because you don't have to technically establish as a two-hander. But you can't do it left-handed to right-handed because you're physically a left-handed bowler. So if they see you bowling right-handed, they would just disqualify you.
I thought you had to determine two-handed now in USBC.
I don't think you have to determine it. It's delivery hand.
Okay.
Yeah.
Don't you just have to mark where you hold the ball?
Yeah.
You just
What
have
side
to
of the
mark,
grip?
yeah, you now have to mark an X where your
An
pop
X.
is.
Yeah,
So
but I
That's
want to say
putting the
for
ball in
league,
the
you
ball
have to have a one-handed average, a two-handed average, a right-handed average. Like, you could have 4 different averages in theory, or 3 different averages in
Do
theory.
you have to have a two-handed average in league now?
I don't know.
I don't know.
I thought
Yeah.
so.
You don't.
No,
Yeah.
you don't.
I think
I
you
think
have
it's just
to.
right
You
now.
might have to mark it, but I don't think it specifies on their website like so and so bowls one-handed or two-handed.
Okay.
But since I've been bowling, since I've been filling out those types of sheets, I think it's I think that like they just make you fill out if you're lefty or righty, one-handed or two-handed.
Yeah, I mean, so I could go average 178 in league. One hand.
That's where it gets tricky.
Not condoning that, by the way. Don't
Oh, there's
Where do
people-
you
for sure.
where do you guys
Yo,
learn
that's
how to
good.
lay out a ball? How do you know what layout to put on the ball and learn the technical stuff?
Twitch.tv/vitamin.
Plug.
Yo,
I think
Ken,
it's a long process of
It's a
learning.
very long process.
Yeah.
This
big
Kent,
experience.
Kent kid throws it sick, by the way.
This guy.
Uh,
this is the kid.
This is
Yeah.
the kid we were talking about?
Yeah, he throws it sick.
Throws it
It was very like minor things that I saw that he could work on, like super minor.
Threw it like
That-
a 12-year-old Cameron Doyle.
Yeah, but
Yeah, the
better.
hair flip too.
No, he didn't.
No hair flip.
No. But yeah, I mean, I learned via Google.
Really?
Yeah, I learned via Google. I figured out first with the dual angle system, and then I mean, obviously, I figured out what my PAP was first, and then my positive access point, and then went to Google, and I think it was Storm or no, it was the buffer system. But I saw an article with the dual angle system, and it explained like, you know, what the bigger angles do versus the smaller angles, and then pin to pap distance and how that increases flare and so on and so forth. So the internet is a great tool, provided that your YouTube is also great, or just talking to someone that actually
Hang out at your local pro shop.
yeah
I think it gets very dangerous with Google though, because there's a lot of
Yes.
information in
Yes.
bowling that is not correct, because the vast majority of bowlers don't actually know what they think they know.
Right, 100%. And I was very lucky in that instance where the dual angle system was like just coming around whenever I was learning about it. So the information that I got, at least from what I learned, was true. But that was also 10 years ago. So
Yeah.
I remember sitting through the very one of Mo's dual angle seminars back when he first started coming out with that. I was working in a shop at the time, and I remember sitting there like, oh, okay, this is overly technical, but I mean,
Yeah.
10 years later, now you're looking at it like, oh, okay, this is.
yeah, it makes sense.
Good
It makes it easier.
Yeah. But I mean, I learned from hanging out just hanging out in the pro shop, and if you've got a good pro shop operator around you, just ask questions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this guy's
So I
from the
learned as well.
Philippines, so I don't know the pro shop situation.
Yeah, I don't know what the pro shop situation is there either.
But
I
yeah,
have a question.
coaches and stuff like that. You have a question?
How do you know if your pro shop operator is good or not?
You don't.
You will need.
That's the hardest part. Like,
think you
don't
will
know who
know.
to trust.
For me, you know when you go to somebody else and they're better. That's when you know.
But it's like you're picking which
Yeah,
one's
it's like-
better, but what if they both suck?
What if
Yeah,
you
You're just
go
picking the one
online
that's not as bad.
I mean, I know.
and you go to buddiesproshop.com and you can talk to them. You can send a ball into them. They can send you one back. There's my plug.
Yeah,
'Cause,
but
I
the
mean, what-
issue becomes like we know like good pro shop operators because we know this stuff. But
Yes.
if a regular league bowler were to go into any random pro shop, most of the time they're not going to know the difference between the services that they're getting unless
Right.
they're a really good pro shop operator. Then I feel like they would explain things to them a little bit more. At least that's what we try to do. And I think it's more or less teaching them as they go, not just drilling a ball, not telling them anything about it, and just say, go throw it.
All right, so sorry for cutting you off. I have this idea that I can't forget. So because we have a very good pro shop operator with us right now, to my bottom right, that way, right there, that guy right there,
I know.
him and Mikey are now. I'm speaking it into existence. Are going to make a YouTube video explaining
Yes.
Yes.
explaining ball layouts because we're so strapped for content. I'm creating it for you right now, creating work for you right now.
We're
Yeah.
not.
And
Yes.
We do not need more videos. But that would be a great video. I think that would be a good thing. I think that's a video that a lot of people are interested in. Not even like learning for themselves, but just knowing about.
I think
Like,
it's a video that needs to be made just because
Right?
there's so much like what Darren was saying earlier, there's a lot of people out there that assume they know what they're talking about, that we can like watch their videos and like that is just not correct.
Yeah, like majority of the
there-
ball reviews I watch, it's like, bro,
Yeah, and there's
what are
so
you
many,
even saying?
Yeah, and there's so many people that like watch these and like go to these and then they like
And it's
take that
like-
information for like
Mhm.
that is what it is, and like they won't be told otherwise because this person said it. So I feel like yeah, it definitely get a little bit more truth.
I
Yeah.
always started looking like when I was much younger, 10, 12, 13 years ago, and I was starting to learn this stuff. I went and looked at where the good players in my area went. And in that case, all of them went to the same place. So, I mean, every good bowler in the city was getting their stuff done at the same place. So it was easy for me to find the guy that is going to have the most knowledge. But I think in a lot of cases, if I lived in a bigger city, like Columbus has how many pro shops, Chris? You guys have got what, 20 shops in that city?
Nah, we don't have that many. Probably have 1, 2, 3, 4. We probably have less than 10.
So I mean, but when you get into some bigger cities, it's harder to find them for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, especially you get to the bigger cities, they're much further spread out. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, 20 minutes is, I guess, depends on where you're from, but 20 minutes is a decent drive for some people to the bowling center. And, that's probably the closest pro shop to us. I mean, the owners of the bowling center that we're in actually own 2 other bowling centers, and neither of them have pro shops. So it's actually somewhat beneficial to where those people will actually come over to us as well.
That's why you need to expand.
Yeah, well, we also need to not have coronavirus
COVID.
stunting our growth after 4 months of purchasing this.
Yeah, I think a lot of the right pro shop, a lot of it has to do with fit. And then I think even for like beginner bowlers and bowlers that bowl, once a week, they bowl their 3 games and leave. I think a big underrated part of the pro shop is suggesting the right bowling ball.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's almost even more important than, getting a fit close is important. It doesn't need to be perfect if you're bowling 3 games a week and that's it.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, I think that's one of the biggest things that, is pretty underrated in terms of pro shop. And I said it in the ball video that I just came out with. I was like, I understand that this ball might not be for everyone. Not every ball is for everybody, but, certain balls are better than others for me. And I know they're not good for other people, or they're not as good for other people as they would be for me.
Yeah, we have a lot of people coming in and they'll ask about, like, just as an example, like, oh, I want a I want to get a Crux Prime. Okay, well, what do you want out of this ball? Like, what are you wanting it to do? Whatever it is. Oh, I wanted to get way down the lane, and I wanted to hook a ton on on the back end. Like, all right, well, this probably isn't the bowling ball for you, because that's not what this bowling ball is designed to do. That's not what it's going to do. No matter what I do to this bowling ball, you're not going to get that ball react. And so then you kind of explain it to people a little bit more and try to steer them in the correct direction. And I think people appreciate that, because like, I'm not one to try to upsell people. Like, I would rather see them happy and get them into the right bowling ball, rather than spend an extra $50 and then be pissed off that their ball isn't what they wanted.
Right. And that's a hard thing to do whenever you're running a shop. I mean, I remember back when I used to work in shops all the time, we get people that would come in and say, well, I want to stand here and I want to throw it here. Well, what center are you bowling at? Well, I'm bowling here. You can't do that there. Right. There's centers around here that at the time were still using old pad machines that literally right of 5 hadn't had oil in it in 10 years. Well, you can't stand there and throw the ball up 5. That's not an option. So people that come in, well, this is what I want to do here. Give me a ball for that. Well, like, you as a shop operator, a lot of people are just going to sell them something. Say, okay, this will work. And then, okay, they're never going to come back, but I got a sale out of them. Whereas a good shop operator will stand there and say, look, that's not going to work. Let's work on some other things so that you can have some success, whether that be a lesson, whether that be a different ball, whether that be a crazy layout. There's a bunch of different things that you can do in that situation. But, it's hard to find shop guys that are willing to lose a sale, to be honest with people.
Yeah, I've noticed. I was in a shop one time and a guy walked in and it was really clear that he didn't know what he was talking about. And he had like a pretty good midline bowling ball. I can't remember what company. And he goes, yeah, I just, I want something different or something like that. And it was like $180, $190 bowling ball. And he offered him a Cyclone and the guy took it. And I'm like, yeah, or some like really low end ball. And I'm like, really? Like, you just took a Cyclone off the shelf to get a $190 bowling ball on the shelf. Like, that was not in the best interest of the other guy.
Yeah.
There's just a lot of assholes out there, essentially that.
Are they just squeezing for pennies?
Yeah.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Do you guys recommend any bowling channels that are reliable and know what they're talking about?
This one.
Never heard of them.
You're here. Welcome.
Yeah.
I'll tell you, there's not a lot.
Hey.
There's not a lot, but
You can check out the Brad and Kyle channel. They're somewhat reasonable.
and yeah, as we said, Chris and Mikey are going to do this video, so you can look forward to that within the next 3 months.
I'm a little busy at the current state of my life right now, but we'll make it happen.
Yeah, and
I think Mikey, honestly, I think Mikey doing it just by himself would be just hilarious, because I'm sure he would say something really. Wow, you took the time to write that out.
he's had him
Hey, I've gotten good. It's fast now.
I'm surprised you just don't have a stamp.
Every signed ball, it's fast. It's easy.
You just need a stamp to where you just stamp it on there and then you're good.
I'm just waiting for the day he has a tattoo.
Oh, right. He's gonna get a tattoo across his forehead.
Yeah, just rips his shirt off and across his abs.
But yeah, Mikey doing the ball layout video by himself would be hilarious, because
I think we should just have Mikey do every single video.
Yeah.
At least
by
because
himself.
he's just funny by himself. Everybody else needs someone else to be funny with.
Yes.
Yeah. It's
My
better
wife thinks I'm
because-
like not funny at all ever, so I don't know why
Why?
she married me.
It's better because like the one I can't remember which video it was, but he made one where he was just like talking rather seductively to the camera, and it was a day when the bowling center was like closed and the pro shop was closed and nothing like that. So I was just like imagining it in my head, him sitting there in the pro shop by himself, talking seductively to the camera about a bowling ball. That kid, man.
Oh man.
All right, guys, don't worry. I'll take this one because it was directed for the only lefty in this group. But I think you can take this advice from anybody. Honestly, I think urethane is something that you have to practice with, and Chris cannot answer this, and neither can Tim. the other Chris in the bottom corner over there. You can answer it, not the middle one.
Just stand on 10 and hit 10.
No, that's not. I mean, I think
Wait, did you just say stand on 10 and hit 10?
stand 10, hit 10. You're gonna Brooklyn.
3 off the
Maybe.
left.
All right, stand 11, hit 9.
Might break
There
your
we
ankle.
That's better.
trying to
I think
break the line.
I think it's just something you got to practice with. Urethane, it is a learned skill that is not something that you can just pick up and be good at immediately unless you have the magic ball.
Yeah, it's very like it's just a completely different type of ball motion, and there's different things that you need to do with your hand to get the ball like to perform at its peak.
Hit up
And
on it.
I feel like you throw them very differently, and it's learning how to throw urethane is something that needs to be. It's not just like you just go grab a urethane ball and throw it normal, and it should do what it does. Like it will to a certain extent, but to get the most out of it, there is some practice that needs.
Yeah, one of the first times I used urethane, I was on motive staff, and it was before I had really ever thrown it. And I was bowling a tournament, and the pattern was really hard, and so I went all the way out to the gutter, and I pulled out this Rampage. What is it? The Tank Rampage. And it didn't look very good, so I did the whole like chainsaw, hit it as hard as I possibly could type thing.
Sure.
And it actually worked. And that's when it like dawned on me, like, oh, you got to do some crazy stuff to this year to get it to work. It's not normal.
And the old ones aren't the same as like the new ones either. Like I've had old like blue hammers and burgundy hammers and scarlet quantums and things from 20 years ago, and they are not like the new ones.
Yeah.
The Vector 1, I drilled one of those in college, and that thing hooked as soon as it touched the lane, but then it just never stopped. It literally glued to the lane and was just like left gutter. Like
I've never even
Chris, what was that one you threw in cold water for one shot last year during practice? That hit the lane and went dead left.
Let me find it. It's over here somewhere.
Chris has got a stash of all the good bowling balls he's thrown.
Wait, don't tell them the urethane secrets. We can make a video.
Yeah, it's true.
And make a video how to throw urethane.
Chris and I can watch it.
Sunstorm.
Oh, all right.
Sunstorm.
It's been
Wow.
plugged 16 times.
Rare piece,
It
right?
has been plugged a few times, but it still rolls ball.
So I'll tell you what you need not to do when going to urethane, and that is have a very nice hand at the bottom and try to get it through the front part of the lane. That is the opposite of what you want to do. And the reason I am, you absolutely want to just, maul on it at the bottom, hit it as hard as you possibly can, and get that.
Wait, I
thing
thought we
to
were making
hook.
this a video.
We are right now. People are going to watch this over and over.
We're just gonna
again
clip
for
it
this
out.
live. Yeah, it's
You can
fine.
clip it. It's fine.
Yeah.
It was just a subtle flex of Prather saying that he has a soft hand at the bottom. That's why.
And you can also hammer
That's
on
what
at
I
the
was.
bottom with your
But I like it.
No, even when I,
so soft
I,
at the bottom and nice.
I am grabbing every single hole whenever I am at the.
He's not allowed.
Booted.
He's not allowed. Okay, we'll bring him back.
Man, Rocky in control, and he's just like, "Oh, I'm gonna boo whoever I want out."
We're talking about hitting it hard at the bottom, please.
I don't. I
don't
tried
even know
to,
what
and
that
it
is.
doesn't happen.
Yeah, you should try hitting it hard with your thumb in it, Packy. It's a little harder, all right?
Yeah,
You got to give Prather credit.
One-handed today. I threw it one-handed today. And guess what, Brad? It hooked too much. Went back to two-handed.
well,
I
that's because
actually
you're going
one-handed
6
hook too
miles an
much?
hour with
People-
your thumb in it.
Well, the problem was it was Brandon Bones, so his thumb was like a sausage. Like he had the crater thumb. So I was like swimming in it, squeezed it. The problem is I don't understand how one-handers throw it hard and hook it. I physically cannot do that. It is
because we don't squeeze it.
Throws hard and hooks it.
or throw it hard. It's hook it or throw it hard. There is no both.
Who throws it hard and hooks it?
Who throws it hard and hooks it as a one-hander?
Still trying
Yeah.
to figure that one out.
Tommy?
No, I'm talking about rev rate. Like I throw a knuckle ball, or I throw it 12.
But when you throw a 12, are there a lot of
I'm on
rubs
the
on it?
12 side.
Yeah, when I throw a 12, I can like hook the lane.
Yeah,
But
Mike-
when I throw
Mike
it like
was kind of
15, and maybe it's because the ball doesn't fit.
That's how I feel, man. I'm sure that's how Darren feels too. That's why we just slow hook the shit.
It's like if
Mikey
it's
is
either
that,
it's
So I
slow pipe the urethane or slow hook a reactive ball.
What is slow?
Oh yeah, then we got Tim in here, the heater McSkeeter.
Hey, I'm older. I grew up when we had to throw it hard, man. We didn't have these fancy newfangled plastic panels that we bowled on.
Hey,
With
that heater
oil on them.
whooped Belma pretty good. I'll never forget that.
I could throw the heater then. They let the heater play that week.
yeah, man. We had the old wood lanes, for the longest time around me. So that was you had no choice but to throw it hard.
Yeah, I remember
throw
bowling
it hard,
college
it was
tournaments
going
on wood.
Oh yeah.
There was no such thing as soft back then,
We put the guys that throw heaters on the bottom,
except for Prather.
except
Yeah,
He can throw heaters.
I can, but it's still like me trying to maul on it at the bottom, so I get that decel going. And
It is, yeah. When you try and,
No.
yeah, it is different.
the only time I can throw it hard with any kind of confidence is when it's up the lane. Like, so the only time I throw urethane is up the lane, and it's normally going about 23 miles an hour.
And
off my hand.
every time your release is like,
Yeah,
like
it's
super quick.
yeah, and it like there's no because I'm gonna knock myself out because it's literally a fist coming up and it's just wham. That's it. When I'm trying to throw it hard,
Get him that sky uppercut. Like,
and knock myself out.
That's what it is.
How many times can you plug a ball before you have to retire it?
72.
never.
the real question is,
One.
how many of you guys have thrown a plugged ball recently? Wow, for real in a tournament?
Every single one of my bowling balls is plugged right now, except for the new stuff, because I had to do the grip change.
Oh yeah, but that doesn't count.
It's still plugged.
I mean,
Plug in it.
I guess. I had my highest score ever with a
Same.
plugged bowling ball. I had my highest score ever with a plug ball. It was somebody else's ball that I plugged.
300?
I shot 1160 for a 4.
Oh yeah, the
That's a
868
lot.
there. Miss,
Yeah.
miss, sheet.
Yeah, I high score ever with a plug ball. So I don't think you can. I think it is a question that you can only answer yourself with. Once you actually throw it, you will know when it's time. Every ball has its time, and you'll just know.
I think there's a difference too between plugging them and leaving the same layout on them, and plugging them and changing the layout, because you start to Swiss cheese the core up a little bit when you change them, so that's going to make them roll a little bit different.
Sometimes they're better.
Oh yeah, you may accidentally stumble upon something with the numbers on it when you're doing that.
That and also how good the pro shop is at refinishing the bowling ball. Because
Correct.
I've plugged some that have already previously been plugged, and like you can just run your hand over it and you feel
And it's like a mountain.
yeah, and it's like
Mm-hmm.
it's just not good. So
Yep.
yeah, definitely that plays a factor in it as well.
I had somebody worried about this rule that people were going to start putting like rolls of quarters and junk down in their
Seen
ball.
I've seen that done.
Mm-hmm.
Anyone's ever going to do that?
There's a guy growing up back in like the Dayton area. He had a ball that he drilled like pretty much all the way through the core, but as deep as he could go, put lead weights in it and plugged it back up. So if any righty threw the bowling ball, it would actually hook to the right. Like it would basically do a backup ball. So he would go around and basically hustle people saying, hey, if you can get this ball to hook to the left, I'll give you $100 or whatever. And it was $10 to throw it. So like he would have lines and lines of people trying to get this ball to hook to the left.
And it just
People
never
were trying to
would.
win money. So he would just literally go and like after league, people would be trying to hook this bowling ball and he would raking it.
You would think you'd feel the difference. Like you'd just be able to feel.
I mean, it's not like people didn't know. Like they knew.
Oh yeah.
It was
They
like
just thought they could hook it.
yeah, it was like a carnival.
That no one could win.
Nobody
Yeah, like,
figured it out to just
literally-
throw it two-handed and flip it upside down.
Yeah.
You know, those
Yeah,
days
dude,
are
it
over.
wasn't
I
really a
think.
thing.
Idiots.
No one actually tinkers. You know, it's not like Norm Duke on the truck throwing his ball in the tail to make sure he's got 0.78 of side weight and a symmetrical bowling ball because that's what he had to do with the earth. Like, no one's like that anymore. We have so many.
Are you sure Norm's not still like that?
Norm's definitely
Norm's like
No,
that.
yeah, Norm is still like that. For
But
sure.
I don't think anyone nowadays is willing to put like a roll of quarters in their freaking weight hole, you know?
My opinion on the matter is, if you feel like you need to do that, you're probably just not good enough.
Sure, exactly.
If you
Or-
feel like you need to cheat,
Or
I'll
you're
do
just
it.
being weird.
How about this? Somebody does it for fun and then finds out that it rolls amazing.
But also, if you do it, like,
so we should do it.
it's going to make
Let's be
your
the
ball
ones.
look less. Like, if you're adding weight to that side, I just feel like it wouldn't roll very good.
Would
I
you?
also think it would be super noticeable. Like if you just randomly,
Like, it would just
you know, yeah, it would wobble, and then like
wouldn't hook.
if somebody, let's say hypothetically, has a 225 rev rate, and then they're playing fourth arrow with a tropical storm, and it's just wheeling the lane. Like, okay, like if it's that blatantly obvious, you're going to be like, all right, well, is there a weight hole? We need to figure out what's in the side of that bowling ball because a roll of quarters is going to affect the ball motion very substantially. So, like, I think it would become
Yeah,
very
yeah.
like
Maybe I'll do a test at first.
Would you guys turn someone in if they were bowling with a ball with a weight hole in it right now?
with a
Depends
weight
on what
hole.
they're bowling.
With a weight hole? Right now? No. And
Like if you're bowling a tournament,
Oh, I was thinking about the quarter thing. Sorry.
They had a quarter, but yeah,
quarter,
absolutely.
yes. I will turn them in all day with a quarter. With a weight hole, it depends on who it is. If I don't like them, 100%.
who would
I'm
that
like-
be? Name a guy right now you would turn in.
Since we're halfway through this match and you're kicking my ass, yeah. I think that ball is illegal and you get zeros.
There was actually a guy at the last regional I bowled that his entire bag. they
Had
all had
weight
weight
hole.
What
Yeah.
happened?
I mean, he bowled terrible, so
It didn't matter.
it
I
didn't really matter.
also heard. I don't know if this is true or not. Maybe you guys know. I also heard that PBA pushed it back to September 1st, and also USBC was thinking about pushing it back to September 1st because of everything that
Happened.
everything was closed for 5
Just push it
months or
back to the end
whatever.
of the year.
So
Okay.
That's
But
just
to play
don't-
devil's advocate, what difference does it make if you're going to ban it anyways?
Yeah,
Right.
I agree.
Yeah.
Just get it over with.
Like, why
But
would
it's
you
the
even
fact
give
that
them the extra time?
because
The-
like New York bowling centers, Michigan bowling center, like there's some places that physically cannot go get them plugged because they're not.
Oh, that's true.
So I think that's why. But also, you could look at the other side of things and be like, we told you guys 2 years ago
That is true.
that we were plugging these.
And
I thought I had heard the reason the
Sure.
PBA was going to do September 1st was because it was going to be in the middle of the summer tour, and they wanted the whole summer tour and that whole points list to be played under the same rules, and then switch the rules.
The
Well,
players
that's not a
want
thing.
that.
And you lost that argument, Brad?
I don't know.
You know, it's one of those things where it's like, yeah, that sounds good, and then they just don't ever think about it again.
I mean, it wound up not mattering, but
Yeah, but you know, if you're a player,
I do feel bad, New York, for the guys in New York and that like if they're going to start league, because there are centers in New York that are literally opening and starting leagues the same week. Like for some of those people, that's going to be an impossibility.
Impossibility. You're right. And who actually cares? Like,
I give them a grace period. Say, hey, dude, use it tonight. Plug it for next week. Move along.
yeah,
Yeah, I feel like,
Like,
I mean, obviously, it's the people in the league that really decide. Like, obviously, the people in Texas at USBC aren't going to know if somebody in Ohio or New York or Florida or whoever is bowling with a weight hole that night. If everyone in the league's like, all right, like everything, it needs to be fixed by next week. If it's not, you cannot use that bowling ball,
Right.
whatever it is. Like it really shouldn't be that big of a deal. But there's obviously going to be people out there that are going to be like, oh no, August 1st, like nope, can't do it. Like can't throw that bowling ball.
I had that conversation with a proprietor around here that started their Monday leagues this week, and there was a guy that just completely oblivious to the entire thing, had no earthly idea, showed up to bowl league like he always does, whatever. And somebody was like, well, the center needs to stop this. And the owner of the center's like, I'm not about to lose a league bowler. Like, we can't get league bowlers as it is right now. Like, we need every penny we can get to survive. I'm not stepping in. Well, the league somebody needs to put a stop to this. And it's like, just use some common sense. The guy didn't know. Tell them to fix it for next week. Move along.
Yeah.
Do
We
they
have bigger things
pay?
in the world to worry about.
Yeah, no kidding.
Do they have to pay to get their weight holes plugged?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Oh, yeah.
Chris,
$10, and it's 15 if we have to drill. Like, so if it's a two-hander and they had like a thumb slug, because a lot of two-handers just use one-hander bowling balls or whatever it may be.
That's kind of messed up.
If it's a slug, then if we're drilling it out, it's 15.
Like
But it's
USBC
like-
should be paying for every single plugged weight hole.
If USBC was providing us with the plug, then it'd be a very different story. But we're purchasing the plug that we're using.
that stuff's
That
not
would be-
cheap either. So
Yeah, I mean that would be. I mean, it's not hard to pay off. I mean, you'll pay it off quick, but USBC should be providing plug to cover these expenses.
right, since
Yeah,
they're
at
making the
least,
rules.
Yeah.
or at least funding for it. Yeah.
Right. B. Taylor 007 here. I think that your arsenal depends on what you're bowling on. I think 3 is totally fine if you're going to be bowling on like house shots and stuff. But if you're going to start bowling more sport tournaments or traveling and doing like anything like that, I think a more versatile arsenal is definitely necessary. Because there are times where on tour, it's just you're in a certain house where phase 2s look really, really good, or Packy name a Brunswick ball or whatever.
Investigator.
The purple hammer.
The
Yeah.
investigator, Bradford came to not. The instigator, the intimidator. All of these balls are great.
Yeah,
The fake
the inspector gadget.
melee jab, best house shot ball out there. Period.
So yeah, I think it depends on what you're bowling on, because if you're going to go and bowl a 5-game King of the Hill sweeper and that's going to be on house, I think 3 balls is plenty. If you're going to bowl on anything, I don't. But
I do think
Yeah.
in like the general of just getting better at bowling, understanding bowling balls is, in general
Oh.
is a big deal.
yeah, 100%.
So like
Learn
the more I understand they're expensive, but I always tell people, like, if you can cop bowling balls for $20 or $30 from friends, or if you find them on the racks, or if you can just throw as many bowling balls as you possibly can for the cheapest price you possibly can, that's only going to benefit you. Because
Honestly, a lot of pro shops. I know this
So,
is like the third time I've
plug the
mentioned
balls.
it, but Buddy's Pro Shop, like, not even plug balls, but if you go online, you can find on eBay. I know on Buddy's, and I'm sure other pro shops do this. If you just ask for an older ball that like isn't sold anymore, I'm sure those pro shops are willing to cut you a deal.
yeah,
They're just trying to get rid of it, get the new
Like we
inventory
used to sell free, like the Freakin' Frantics. They bought 1 million of them, so they were selling them for $70, and that's a brand new bowling ball for $70. And
Why
Buddy would have bought them all for 50 apiece.
that reminds me, I'm going to text Forey right now and say, what old soft do you have?
what?
Becky.
Why is that? Why is it when we throw really old bowling balls like that, like freaking Frantics, that they're no longer good anymore? Why are the bowling balls we throw now seem?
I think it depends on who it is, and I think it depends on the bowling ball.
It's the
I
same
think
game.
The
Way
oils
old-
are different.
Way old,
Oils
bowling
and
balls-
pattern designs are different.
way old bowling balls, they just put too much oil out. Every single bowling ball that comes out hooks more than the last. Every ball.
But like,
Not a lot, but over the course of 5 years, that ball is 5 years old doesn't hook the same as the one that's new, because they all start to hook more gradually. And maybe it's something that happens to the ball over time.
You got to look at
Maybe the ball
technology
sits
too,
there
where
for
bowling
5 years,
balls,
it changes.
like bowling balls are starting to hook more. They're figuring out things to make bowling balls hook more, but also the companies that are producing oil and the people that are designing patterns are also increasing that to keep up with those bowling balls as well.
Mhm.
Or when they're changing the oils and the oil patterns to keep up with the really strong bowling balls, the bowling balls that used to be strong are like no longer strong. I mean, you can get
So
a high-end ball from 10 years ago, and it's a low to mid-level bowling ball.
so we'll just say, like a TV show that P. Weber bowled on, where he threw like an X Factor in 2004 or something.
That's a good one.
That's hilarious.
Which company's going to
That's pretty close.
That'd be a terrible bowling ball. Wow. That's the worst tagline for a bowling ball I've ever
They have
seen.
to have it, dude. They got the What is it? The
You think that's
intimidator,
bad? I think that's genius.
Intimidator, instigator.
Always searching for the
investigator.
pocket, bro. That means you can't
the
find it.
investigator. They gotta have it.
Brunswick's gonna hire this man now.
I mean, you could change it from like always searching to always finding the pocket.
Always.
Then,
Yeah.
then it
Then
would be
you got
much
it.
better. Then much better.
But you could take Pete Weber throwing an X Factor on a show. If you had the equipment today, would he never throw an X Factor? Would he just throw all like the new stuff? Even back then in 2003?
No, he probably throws an X Factor because the new stuff would hook too much now.
Yeah, it
Like
would,
what we're throwing now, what we're throwing now would not look good on what they bowled on 20 years ago.
yeah, it would match up.
It was that much lighter volume.
Brad,
necessarily
where
have
have you
to
been?
It's lighter
the
volume,
viscosity-
and it's
the
where they put the
viscosity of the
volume
oil.
at too, and the viscosity of the oils.
I feel like it's technology isn't just changing in bowling balls; it's changing in the oils just as much. So that's why the older bowling balls they just don't have the technology. It's like a phone. Like you go get like an iPhone 4.
Yeah, but urethane works. I guess that's new technology, new urethane.
Yeah, not the same thing.
Interesting.
But it's just like getting an old phone. It's just the same technology. Like it's still a phone, but it's nothing like what we have right now.
So
High road ever super strong?
no, I think it's
Really?
just the shape that it made on the lanes, because I remember the high road being, it was always like that mid-range ball or mid-low ball, because I mean the core hasn't changed, the cover maybe they've made some tweaks to it, I don't really know, but I remember the high road just always being that super continuous but smooth. It wasn't like somebody kicked it down lane.
Right.
And now they're a little bit more responsive to the friction, but I think that is them making the ball still pick up in today's thicker oil. Because I mean, like we said, the oil's becoming thicker. Everything's changed. They made that ball for the oil then, and they've kept it for a decade now. And they've had. I mean, I'd have to imagine that they've updated the chemistry to it to make it to where it's still so successful.
Yeah, I didn't think about the oils being different.
I feel like the high road pearl rolls like I feel like the high road pearl now rolls like the high road when it first came out.
100%.
I think the high road pearl, like I wouldn't say it got kicked left down lane, but like when it first came out, to me it was considerably cleaner and stronger down lane motion bowling ball. To where now if I've thrown a high road, like I'm expecting like a smooth continuous reaction. Where the high road pearl is more of that cleaner, stronger control motion down lane. So yeah, it's just kind of weird that the same bowling ball 11 years later is viewed completely differently than it used to be.
It is actually amazing, going to Ben's statement right there, how many people are throwing urethane nowadays. It is.
Yeah,
crazy.
I mean, it literally
Why?
wasn't a thing.
Why is that? Anybody? I don't know. I
don't know
You
either.
don't want me to answer the question.
I'm a believer. Why is it?
I really want Tim to answer this question.
You do not want me to answer the question.
Because
It's
I think Tim and I have the same views on this.
I mean, my opinion on it is that
All right, guys.
I just want to let everybody in the
interested to
chat
hear
know
what you
I
had
didn't
to
throw
say,
urethane
man.
in college. I was a good player. I used my hand.
You urethane believers out there.
I actually
We're here for it.
don't.
Dude, I was so interested to see what he said.
Okay, fine. We'll bring them back. We'll bring those boys back. They deserve to be heard. Tell us.
It's like, I don't want it anymore.
Yeah,
Patrick, you blew it now. Now, I am a firm believer that like the art of what, and I always use Norm as the example, that what Norm can do with his hand, and guys like Norm, Doug Kent, some of those generational guys, that they can create that hold that urethane gives you. They do it with their hand. They do it with physical skill. The guys now just mash on it and use a bowling ball to do it. So to me, it takes more skill to be able to create those shapes with a reactive ball than just matching on a urethane ball and using the ball to do it.
Whoa! What about if you go the other way around?
I think
What if
so.
you can't hit it hard enough?
Right. So I think that it takes skill to do both.
I agree.
I think it's two separate skills.
I'm on the same
And
page.
it's just a skill that I'm not good at. Whereas Darren is incredible at it. He can throw a pitch black on virtually any pattern and make it strike. So, and then Packy's got the purple hammer. So it's fine. But
my BPU was just as good.
Packy got lucky with that purple hammer. He wasn't even good. Like Brunswick, he didn't even deserve it.
He walked into
Your boys.
That's like
You see me throw
Packy, I'm on your side. You still got to throw the ball.
it's literally like finding $40,000 in a briefcase on the ground unmarked.
Imagine this.
That
Having a
acquisition
briefcase of
The disrespect.
$40,000.
free money.
the disrespect.
Imagine this. I had the briefcase. It had 20,000, and I just added an extra 20 to it when I was done.
He had to find the bank.
In reality, I would like to see a different environments for each. I would like to see urethane tournaments, and I would like to see reactive tournaments where you have a tournament where you can only throw reactive balls, and then you can have a tournament where you can only throw urethane balls, and then then you can see the differences in who has which skill set. Because I feel like now it's hard for a guy like Norm doing his little knuckle technique to strike as much as Darren per se, who's really good with urethane, and keep up. If that makes sense.
right. Yeah, 100%. Because Darren is, even though he's throwing urethane, is creating more energy through the pins with urethane than Norm is, just because of speed and rev rate. And I'm totally fine with bringing back the plastic ball tournament, because I've bowled a plastic ball tournament one time and I'm averaging like 240. So
I enjoy them. I think they're a great time.
Right? Let's do
I think
it.
they're great.
I
Brad,
don't own one.
Players Committee, let's
I'm
make it
out.
happen.
Drill one. Relax.
I don't like him.
Hey, Brad, do we have dates for what's happening after the league yet?
No, I've got a meeting with her in the morning.
Oh my god!
Perfect. Yeah.
I mean, at least we're getting information. So that's.
How would you guys feel about that style tournament on the PBA Tour?
Two balls.
Two balls?
Bring
I
two
would
balls.
love it.
I think the players would
I think
love it. I think the bowling ball companies would hate it.
I would love every
For sure.
tournament if we had like 10.
Just
Like the
limited
US Open?
to like the U.S. Open.
U.S. Open.
Yeah.
The guys
I like
watching
it.
this are like, you guys have 10 balls?
Yeah. It's like wow, you want to actually be limited to 10?
It does make
And the truck doesn't make money.
Yeah, the truck doesn't make money. The bowling ball companies are kind of like, but I mean,
You can drill in between rounds.
yeah. And then like the hardest part for like the bowlers would just be limiting it to 10, especially if it's where you're like on that 12 that, these other two look good where these other two might not, and then it's limiting that. But once you get it down to 10, it's like, okay, it makes decision making a lot easier if you know your equipment. At least that's how I look at it, because you have fewer options.
It also brings some skill involved. Like in order to bowl well that week in qualifying, you have to pick the right balls. You can't just have a bad block and go drill 7. You got to really put some thought into it.
Yeah, it brings knowledge and versatility into
And
it.
it can be, it could be marketed. Like Storm could put up Chris Playford's 10-ball arsenal for the Indianapolis Open and like make it like a big deal,
But back to the ball company side of things, it would make it really hard for any of us to want to use new bowling balls in that scenario, because we don't get a chance to throw them before.
Yeah,
That's
we have to
true.
pick our 10 balls. So it would be really hard to market new balls in that sense.
If it was different, if they sent them to us at a healthy time before or really made sure part of the process, but they have so many staffers that would be impossible to make fair and just a headache on their part.
And if we're in the middle of the tour, that's almost impossible for us.
Yeah.
And then
We'd have to spend a day off to go and practice with it, and then make a decision at that time.
Yeah, because they really bank on their players making TV with the newer equipment. That's big for their just business in general.
Omega prep.
That's interesting. I mean, you could always make exceptions for the show, I guess. But then if you didn't throw it the whole week, then you're literally throwing a ball you've never thrown before on TV, which would be crazy.
But normally those strike the most. New ball carry, baby.
New ball
What
carry.
does it cost to drill up a ball on the track? I tell you, it's pretty steep. It really,
Very expensive.
really takes a bite out of my wallet. That's
So
for sure.
don't listen to him and don't listen to him. Don't listen to Packy. It costs them $20 per bowling ball. So they, don't worry about them. But if you put your thumb in it, it is a minimum of $40. And then if you use, if you have ovals or anything like that, it's an extra $5 every time you mill a finger.
Time the
or
thing comes down, it's another
Yep,
$5.
another $5.
Basically,
5, 10, 15, 20, 25. Wow, you owe me
They're playing a
$75.
slot machine.
it's not,
It's like $5 pull, $5 pull.
it's actually not $5 every time it comes down. I believe it's $5 every time they move the ball. Because
that would make more sense. Yeah,
That would make more sense.
I have vacuum grips. They do not charge me more.
That's true.
It's when they move the bowling ball. So it's
which is funny because I move the bowling ball on my vacuums and they don't charge me more. So
All right. So after the gripping holes, it's another $5 per pull.
yeah, there you go.
Yeah, but then you get the interchangeables. Those are more expensive as well.
Oh yeah, if you do the turbos, only on the turbos because they have to put the sleeve in for you. If you do the Vice stuff, you do not get charged more money.
So
I know you wouldn't know that because you don't use your thumb.
I knew the turbo ones cost more. I didn't know. I thought
What's a thumb
the
hole?
Vice would be the same.
No,
The
'cause
turbo
they're
ones
not
have
moving
to,
the ball.
yeah, the
have to
turbo ones have to
install
put the sleeve in and then cut it down. So
Yeah.
What's a thumb hole?
Ooh.
Extra void in the bowling ball.
What about an elimination type of tourney? Ooh, that means that you would have people coming in with cases of bowling balls. Like
Yeah.
I
I
would
think
literally
that's
walk
a terrible
in.
idea.
Here's
Yeah.
my
The guy has no idea what he's talking about.
here's my counter idea for this.
Moving
What
on.
if you said to people, once you stop, let's say you have, for me, let's say I have like 5 prisms, right? Once I go from one prism and leave that prism, I have to stop throwing that bowling ball for the rest of the tournament.
The one that you left.
No, like I can't throw
All
any.
of your prisms.
See, no, that would counteract my entire thought.
It's a long tournament. You would literally run out of bowling balls.
Yeah.
mhm.
Well, we have a lot of brands at Brunswick. So I don't
Yeah.
know. I don't think I
I
would.
would win.
Now
Okay,
you might be able
Packy.
to. You might be able to win the U.S. Open and still have bowling balls left over.
So Packy,
Throw a different ball every game and still have balls left.
The
you
paddock
got to
would
bowl
be a
that tournament
nightmare.
Samstown and carry all the balls in yourself with no wheels on the bags.
We would run out of room in the paddock because everybody's ball stash would look like Don Barrett's.
No,
Yeah, that's what I'm
No.
saying. There would literally be. You wouldn't be able to walk in the bowlers area.
The
be
roster
tired.
for the roster for the Players Championship would be 15 people.
Don Barrett, Scoop Palermo, Anthony Simonson.
Or you can
Belmo.
imagine that paddock.
With their 40 bowling balls. Guys,
Are
what's
we
harder,
answering the
EBA or college? I'll answer it right now. College is
College.
allergic to
The
lefties.
Hoosier.
The
College
Hoosier.
is harder
Hang
'cause
on.
you have to go
I
to
have.
class.
I think I have something useful. I don't think it's the patterns themselves. I think it's how they break down.
Ooh.
Yeah, I think the college patterns are probably harder, but bowling on tour is definitely harder.
Yeah, because you got to average 7 strikes a game to.
Dude, our
Very, very,
patterns
very
in
different.
bowl on really aren't that difficult. We just make them difficult.
I don't
But-
think it's. I think there are difficult patterns in both, and there are easy patterns in both.
Yeah.
Depending on where you
Mhm.
bowl, what tournament you bowl. But I think it ultimately comes down to how the patterns are broken down.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of
Sometimes
times
the PGA
in
stuff
college.
gets messy. The college stuff, like there's always something to throw it to.
Because everyone, there's a large majority in college of college players are very one-dimensional. They can't move past a certain point, so there's going to be a rail.
Yeah,
I mean,
something.
in college, I was able to stand left, and even when I hooked it and lofted it, I was able to kind of keep it tight. But
Yeah, you trapped it.
on tour, you got to create these like just insane
Monster
angles
angles.
that you can't learn that in college, really.
No, it's
Mhm.
literally the exact opposite because when you get to when it's college, it's like throw it at the 3-pin. If you miss right, it'll come
Exactly.
back.
Mm-hmm.
If you miss left, it's still going to shape because there's like it just gets to a point of the lane. It's going to shape. And on tour, if you do that, it's big 4. Next shot's probably a PBA washout, and then you might get 3 one time. But then if you get it there 3 feet earlier, you might 9-pin.
Brooklyn.
Yeah, I mean it's like polar opposites bowling.
Yeah. So talking about those like super extreme angles, Brad, we bowled the 11th frame this past weekend, and it was 43 feet, 38 mils. Now the friction, the surface of the lane did have a ton of friction, so like you would just play the gutter and it'd shape, fine. But we had 12 games of just like bowling, and the way that it worked was if you had, let's say, 267 was the highest score, and Tim shot that. Tim would get 48 bonus pins because there were 48 players in the field, and the lowest score got one.
Like this.
Right. So after about game 7, we like the guys that were striking were going through like 15, 16 and getting it to 2 at like 30 feet, and like
Because they were so cliffed.
because they were so clipped, and the only way to get your ball to hook was to get it to the friction that fast.
That's funny because the last time I bowled that tournament in that same center, they got really cliffed like that too.
Yeah, and I think it's
the same center plays the same way. Imagine.
right. Yeah,
Pattern.
the gutter is always there. Like it doesn't matter what's out there. The gutter, like, you play the gutter, and but a lot of the people that struggled just couldn't get their ball to the right fast enough because they were playing those shapes that we're talking about, like college, where you keep it tight and you use the oil to.
What did Jerry Mars do? Was he doing that?
Yeah, he was shimming it in there.
Oh, he was playing over to the right.
He was playing like
Yeah, he
7,
definitely wasn't hooking it.
No, he was playing like 6, 7, 8 to 5, and like he moved left off of that, but he never moved left of like 12.
That's the Steven Taylor line.
Yeah, and like so Jerry was like 3 pairs away from me in qualifying, and I don't think he moved left of 12 in 24 games or whatever he bowled, 25 games. But for the entirety of qualifying, I never looked left of 6. I literally looked at board 5 or board 6 the entire tournament for qualifying, and then it just wasn't there on Sunday.
You did because left goes left and right goes right.
No, everybody moves the same.
Everybody went the same.
Yep.
Could have sworn last time. Was that your first time in Dubuque?
No, that was my second.
I like it there.
Yeah, it's a good tournament. They run it well. I'm not I don't really care for bonus pins anyway. But
yeah, I don't either. It's nuts. All right. Well, I gotta go. What makes it so amazing?
We got one more, and then we're out of here.
Okay, so this is actually interesting. Like when you think of like Pete Weber and Walter Ray, or Earl Anthony, it's very definable on why they're so good.
Mm-hmm.
But when I look at it, like what makes Belmo so good, I don't get it. It's not a specific thing. It's not shot making. It's not spare shooting. It's not like a statistical.
I think it's a specific thing.
But
Is it?
It's the fact that he can get further left and just continue to throw it slower and slower and slower. Like he is the furthest one left always.
I think his shot making is underrated as well.
His touch is so good too.
Is shot repeatability is extremely underrated because everyone just assumes he's two-handed and he can throw it anywhere he wants, and it will come back.
That's the speed for all of us.
His speed control is some of the best I've ever seen.
Dude doesn't miss.
Yeah, like it's like to get it off his hand. It's probably 8 out of 10 like frames throwing it good is like when you're really bowling well, and he is consistently at 8 out of 10 frames. He's throwing it exactly how he wants, and when he's really bowling well, it's like
9 or
9 and a
sometimes
half.
10. Yeah.
Like, yeah, it's sickening. Like his ceiling is just it's insane.
I'm gonna have to say, not everyone on tour is a great shot maker. By the way,
no,
Most of I mean,
but
I'm not
really
claiming to be
total
one.
stuff right there.
I'm not.
yeah,
I will say it is easier to make shots when you have the best ball motion in the house, though. Like,
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I
absolutely.
mean, you get loose swing and blah blah blah.
But
Yeah.
you know where you can miss too, so there's
When you
comfort in
got
knowing that you can
the
do a
best
certain thing and get away with it.
You got the best ball motion, the most money in the bank. You got it all.
It's also that for him as well that he's smart enough to know where he needs to go, which I mean on tour it's pretty much just left and throw it slower, but he's able to do it faster than pretty much everyone else. He is really good. I think his understanding of ball motion is underrated as well, because he can see it fast, and if he doesn't have the correct ball motion, then he's going to find it. He's not scared to rifle through 6 to 8 bowling balls in a game just to shoot. He'll shoot 180, and then he can shoot back-to-back 270s because he finally figured out the right bowling ball. So.
Yeah, 100%. And it as a competitor against him, I think we would all agree that yeah, it's incredible to watch, but it also really sucks to watch because you know that he's figuring it out, and you know he's going to shoot 250, and he's going to end up either catching up or bowling his way into the cut, or
Dude, it's insane.
Whatever. It's just,
and he does it every time.
Like the way he caught EJ at the World Series,
right? That was so sick because not only it's not like EJ bowled any worse. Like EJ still
Belmo
bowled
averaged 264 for those 8 games.
Right, exactly. Like Belmo bowled that good, and it's just like
I did my part. I beat him.
I beat him too, dude. By a pin.
Same.
I blew him out. I beat him by 40.
Although EJ beat me 279 to 277.
I
beat
I've
EJ
never
too.
beat EJ in a match play ever.
I've only tied him. The one time that I did not beat him, I lost by 1 or 2, and every other time we've tied in match play.
Damn.
It's freaking match play.
Prather,
Yeah.
I need your secrets. How do you beat Bill? I just can't do it.
Dude, Prather can't lose the Bill.
He's got my digits. He pushes me down like I'm a 4-year-old and then kicks me in the nuts.
No,
He's like one of the hammers and Fall Guys.
It's like,
Yeah,
oh my God. Bro, the hammers aren't the problem.
I think with Bill, it's just he likes to play so straight that
He sets him.
and against me, I like to slow hook it, and sometimes when you got to slow hook it, the firm and up the lane isn't there. So
I'm trying to figure out the solution here still because I like to slow hook it too.
you just got to pick the right time, buddy.
Oh my God.
Just throw the black ball.
Yeah, just throw your thing
Every
then
time.
bowl.
Like, even if it's not right, I'm just going to throw the black ball again.
Yeah.
It's the only thing.
and then
So,
you're
yeah.
gonna teach me how to throw the black one.
Chris has Bill's number 2.
I've
He stuffed one in the 10th frame earlier.
done all right against my man Bill. I'm all right against.
That was nasty.
I need to get one of those. Paintings like you have in your house, Darren. The house that Pygal built or whatever. I need to
The
have
house
a painting
that Bill built.
This is horrible.
That would be amazing.
I'm sending
That needs,
Bill
to,
when
that
we're
needs to
done.
go on.
That
that
is
needs to
the
go on
biggest
Twitter
meme
for
ever.
sure. Needs to go on
Holy
Twitter for sure. Oh,
Maybe
That's
that'll
great.
He's gonna send me a text after this, just like, wow, all right,
Next
I see
show,
how it
Bill
is.
will be under it. Prather will be in it.
Yep.
Oh, that's incredible. I like it.
That's good.
Except for the fact that Ashley likes Bill more than she likes me. She thinks Bill's amazing, and she's like, "Why?"
Even better, he built your house.
Right.
Built your house.
Bill's putting a roof over your head.
Right.
Oh my God.
Do you thank him every time you see him?
No.
You should.
No. I can't.
What
do
are you
that.
getting Bill for
Come on,
Christmas
man.
this year?
I don't know. I mean, he beat me at the Players. I think it's even.
No.
It's even.
I mean, Bill's fine though. He's doing just fine.
Nah, Bill's a good dude.
There was a $60,000 difference, and you call it even?
Oh, bro, that's chump change in the world of sports. Chump change. Chump change.
You got to remember, I also beat him on my way to my first title. So
Which was what? Oh, the Chameleon. He was on that show.
Scorpion.
The Scorpion.
Yeah, I beat Kyle, then I beat Bill, then I beat BJ.
You're just pulling off all of these times you've beat Bill. And
You beat him twice for
in
100
big moments.
It was 60,000 and then 50,000. So that's 110,000 just in majors. You've costed Bill in 2 tournaments.
It's even, Brad.
It's even though. It's even.
It is even because Bill's made a bunch more money.
That's how Prather keeps the edge. He always believes that the second that Bill gets one on him, it's even. So he's got to get one back up.
Yeah, now he's got
I'll take 6 in a row, but the second he beats me in match play one time, it's even. It's even. I'll take 6.
Gotta have that mindset.
Yeah.
We'll bowl on the same pair, and he'll beat me one game, but it'll be even.
Yeah.
even.
He beat me game 3.
I think I'm too far down the hole. He's beaten me so many times. I'll never get back to even.
Nah, you're just that one victory for him. You just got to beat him once, and then you guys are even.
Yeah, no, but I'm in Bill's shoes.
You're one win, then you're even, and then you go one up on him.
Oh, my God.
You're only one back. You're only one back.
Oh man.
All right, boys.
All right, boys.
I think it's about that time.
That was 2 hours.
Yeah, right about 2 hours.
We should do this every day.
Every day.
We should do this.
We would,
How much free time do you have?
you guys see the viewership? We would be partnered on Twitch.
We would be partnering on. I know. We should do it.
We need that.
Except Twitch has this contract thing where you can't stream to multiple platforms if you're a partner. So
Oh my
Does
god.
it tell you where how many people are on?
I have the stream up. It's at 105 right now, but we had 120.
We've been at 100 the last like hour and a half.
Yeah, it kind of plateaued at around 100, 110.
But yeah, it's been real.
Yeah.
It's been fun, as always. We should do this again sometime.
Thanks for watching our Q&A,
Absolutely.
the House Bowling Reviews. Hit that subscribe button. Follow me on Twitch. Follow Chris on Twitch. Follow us on social media. Let's go. Instagram, the House.
The link
if you
in
want
the
to see
description below.
exclusive Chris Prather content, you better follow us on Instagram.
Exclusive Chris Prather tomorrow.
It's pretty funny.
It's gonna be good.
Did he send it to you? Darren?
I saw it.
Oh yes,
Darren.
I'll
I
send
kind
it
of
in
have
the
to
group
pee.
chat.
I almost peed.
All right, and on that note,
On that note, we're out.
we're out.
Bye, guys.